Hey guys, Dustin Byerley here, and I just wanted to talk to you today about creativity. Creativity is often seen as kind of a art, creative kind of thing, right? You know, you're going to do a painting, you're going to work on some sculpture or something like that. And I think that's where most people kind of lay creativity, right? They work their office jobs and it's something that they do on the side, or it's something that could be fun to do. But after working in brand development and creativity my entire life and really exploring all those things, what I found over the years is that it's much more than just art, right? It's also a way of thinking, it's a way of living. And I just wanted to share some really basic concepts with you today that kind of might get your mind going into new directions. So creativity, when you really get down to the process and you live it every day, you're building brands, you're designing things, you're writing copy, you're, whatever you're creating. When you get in that process, it's a process of reflection, right? And there's all these disparate elements that you're considering through that process, right? And what happens is there's this part of your brain that opens up that sees things differently. It's no longer logical and it's not just emotional, but it's this interesting hybrid between right and left brain thinking. So what happens is as you go through that process, your mind opens up and starts to see things kind of very differently. And what I did is I pinpointed, after all these years of working in creativity, is I've pinpointed kind of very specifically what that is. And what it is, it's possibility, right? So it's opening your mind to possibilities before making decisions. So when I worked at ad agencies, what we did a lot, we sat around these big round tables, right? And we had this rule, and it was no idea is a bad idea. And the whole idea is that when you're exploring possibility, if you limit yourself and you hold fear or restrict yourself, that's one less possibility that may be the answer that you're looking toward, right? So it's really an exercise of the mind, of opening the mind and freeing yourself to come up with terrible ideas, say stupid things, right? And a lot of people restrict themselves from that because they're so self-conscious, right? But as you kind of loosen the mind, loosen these ideas, you recognize that bad ideas can sometimes be great ideas. So it's a process of, for instance, in the brand development area, it was a process of kind of dumping all the ideas on the table. And between, 3 or 4 people, you might have 50 ideas, and you parse through them and you can see, you're like, oh, okay, that works, that doesn't work, or something might spur another idea. But again, if you never had the courage to say it in the first place or even consider it, then that opportunity is lost forever, right? So when we're talking about creativity in life, what we're talking about is using the same principles, but applying it to everyday things, right? So maybe you're at the grocery store and you're weighing out what chip to buy, right? So, maybe you sit and you look at all the options and you visualize and consider, hey, when I'm snacking, I'm in bed at 11 p.m., right? And, what do I imagine myself snacking on and enjoying, Maybe my partner's included. Maybe she wants something too, and I would consider that. So weighing out all the options and seeing that first, and then coming to a conclusion, to me, is the creative lifestyle. It's a creative way of living, right? So this applies to everything. Imagine you're in a disagreement with your partner. Having that creative mind and weighing out all the options, it's like, oh, I could respond like this. Oh, and then you can visualize, oh, this may be the outcome to that. Or you might visualize another one and it feels a little heavy in your heart and you're like, oh, that's not really where I'm coming from, So it's not always logical. It's a mixture of your heart and your mind. We can apply that in every aspect of our life, right? So say you want to do a building project or a project that involves months of preparation and all that kind of stuff, is, visualizing and laying things out on paper, looking at them, and then trusting your intuition, trusting your feeling senses to kind of direct you through that process. So I think you get the general idea of what I'm saying, is that creativity is really essentially about weighing out the options before you make a decision. And when we live our lives that way, we end up aligning ourselves more to who we really are, right? And our natural way of being. And that creates more harmony in life. So I just wanted to share this quick tidbit. about creativity and how to use the mind to focus things in a direction that's going to be more harmonic, more aligned with who you are, and have a lot better outcomes. So anyway, all right, guys, that's it for this week, and I'll see you next week. Take care.